Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the Pentax ZX-M, a 35mm camera that doesn't get a lot of love. And that's really sad because I think this is one of the best cameras to start off with film photography. So if you're one of those people that wants to get started, I highly recommend a 35mm camera, and I honestly don't think there's a better camera to get started than this one right here. And today we're going to take a look at why that is, and we're also going to take a look at how to load film, all the buttons, what they do, and we're just going to have a quick overview of this camera. It is a gem of a camera, and I'm excited to show it to you today. Now I'm going to tell you right off the bat that I am a little biased. This is the first camera that I actually bought for myself, my first film camera. I bought it back in 1997, and I've been using it ever since. And I think that actually says a lot right there. The fact that I kept using it, I didn't switch. This was my go-to 35mm camera for the longest time. This is what I learned on, and I just think it's a real gem, I really do. I don't think this camera gets enough love. And I think it has a lot to do with how the camera looks. It's not nearly as attractive as the Canon AE-1 or the Olympus OM1, which are both great 35mm cameras to get started with as well. It doesn't have that vintage look. You know, this has a 90s look, you know, which really, I think to a lot of people, is really not that attractive. It's a little plain Jane. It's a little boxy. It's made of all plastic, which, you know, some people might be turned off by that, but at the same time, this is a very light camera. This weighs only 320 grams. The Canon AE-1, for instance, weighs something like 590 grams. So you almost have half the weight of a Canon AE-1. So it's light and it's durable because of that plastic here. And it's just a fun little camera to shoot with. And while this camera might not be the most attractive, vintage looking camera, it's gonna give you images that, in my opinion, are quite remarkable. I've always been happy with the images that this thing produces. And not only that, but these are images that I've sold, these are images that have gone into shows. And so it gives me the images that I want out of my 35mm film. And I think that's what it's all about, right? At the end of the day, is this camera giving me images that I can use? Is this camera giving me images that I'm happy with? And if it is, then that's all that matters to me. And so I hope you guys give this camera a try, especially if you're a beginner. If you're just starting out in 35mm, please try this camera. Not only is it gonna give you remarkable images, it is super cheap because no one really uses it anymore. This camera, I think last time I checked, was around 40 bucks on eBay, which is incredibly cheap for a camera like this. And the Canon AE-1 and the Olympus, I think, are somewhere around 200 at the lower end, and they go up from there. And so you're gonna be spending a lot less money for something that's gonna give you great images. So let's take a look at how to load some film in this. Let's take a look at all the features. I'll go over everything. And yeah, let's take this camera out for a spin. Thanks, guys. Okay, so this is the Pentax ZX-M. Like I said, it came out in 1997. And it looks like it. I mean, this looks like a camera from the 90s. It's in that weird sort of hybrid state between digital and film. So yeah, it has that sort of 90s look. Again, it's not an attractive camera when you compare it to the Canon or the Olympus. It really isn't, but what it lacks in attractiveness, it makes up in just amazing images. Like, this camera shoots well. So let's take a look. I guess first things first, the camera is a battery operated camera. So this is the on and off. It's set to manual mode right now. That's this little window right here. This is the battery door, by the way, and it uses these little guys. These are CR2 batteries. You can get them online. You know, they're not that expensive or anything. So you just pop 2 of these. They last a while. They really do. You know, so it's not a big deal, but these are what you need. So up here we have the on-off switch. Like I said, this controls your shutter speed. You can actually set the shutter to shutter priority mode by pressing down here and switching to automatic. So this can be an automatic camera. If you have a fully automatic camera, actually, if you have an A here and an A on the lens here. So if you have both A's, this can be a fully automatic camera, or you can set it to shutter priority or aperture priority mode. So that's a nice little feature to have if you'd like to do automatic. This has your basic standard shutter speeds. It has bulb as well. Over here we have the ISO. Now the camera actually does set your ISO automatically. It can read the film and set it automatically, but you can raise it up +3 stops or -3 stops, which is kind of a neat feature to have on this. There's these little icons right here. You can do single image, multiple image, and then timer. Pretty easy to set up that way. And I think that's really everything, honestly. There's the rewind button here. So if we're in the middle of shooting and you wanted to rewind it back, you just press this button with a little pen and it'll rewind the film back. Since this is battery operated, it's fully automatic in the sense that when you load the film, and I'll show you this, it actually feeds the film in of itself, so you don't have to wind it. So when you're starting out in film, it's kind of a big help. I remember when I first learned how to shoot film, I was in a class and a bunch of people messed up their first roll by rolling it improperly. And so it's just a nice little help feature there as you get started and used to shooting film. You know, obviously you can take off the lens here. There's a little button, remove the lens. This is the stock lens that comes with it. It's actually a really nice lens. This is what I use for most of my shooting. Really beautiful lens, nice images, 50 mil. All right, let's get some film in this. Let me show you how to load film. So all you do is on the back here, there's a little button or a little switch lever, button lever, I don't know. Press it down, this pops open. And then you take your film cartridge right here. We're gonna be shooting some Portra 400. You pop it in here and then you just pull it down and you pull this all the way across and you'll get it. There's a little lever here, lift this up a little bit and you just slide it across all the way until, I don't know if you can see, there's a little orange tabby here. You want this part of the film to line up with that. So this little curve here of the film, you want to push that all the way down into it. And then you get it here. And if you go forward, you can just wind it back just a little bit. And that looks about right to me, honestly. That looks pretty good. So we lined up where it becomes a square to this line here. And we just push that down. Everything looks good. We're gonna close it. We're gonna turn it on. And we're good to go. We are good to shoot. That's how easy it is. That is how easy it is. And there's a little viewfinder here. It shows you what you're shooting with, Portra 400 36. And again, the ISO is set automatically, so don't have to worry about that. And right here on the window, it says that we have, you know, we're on shot 1. So yeah, that is the Pentax ZX-M, guys. I love it. I can't say enough about it. It is a great camera. Again, if you're starting out, give this camera a shot. It is cheap, it is wonderful, it is just a nice looking camera and you're gonna get some great images. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy shooting. I'm gonna take this bad boy out, get some images myself, and I will see y'all later. Thanks. Thank you all for watching. I hope I've talked up the Pentax ZX-M enough for you to try it. It really is a remarkable camera. Please let me know what you thought about the video. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe. If you're shooting with this or if you have shot with this, let me know what you think about the camera. I'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.